Wildlife safaris promise adventure, excitement, and a chance to see nature's most powerful animals up close. But sometimes, the wild shows its darker side. In this video, we're sharing the real stories of 5 people whose dream safaris turned into heartbreaking tragedies. From sudden animal attacks to split-second mistakes, these stories are a chilling reminder that when you step into the wild, anything can happen, and not everyone makes it back. One wrong move can turn a dream safari into a nightmare. Stick around to find out how these 5 people faced the wild's wrath. On June 19, 2024, Juliana Glay-Tourneau was on a safari in Zambia when her trip ended in tragedy. The 64-year-old had traveled from New Mexico to explore Africa's wildlife and share her faith with local communities. That afternoon, Juliana and her group stopped near the Maramba Cultural Bridge in Livingstone. A herd of elephants was crossing the road, a common sight in Zambia's parks and wildlife corridors. The vehicle stopped to let the animals pass, and the tourists stayed inside to watch. At first, everything seemed normal, but then, without warning, one of the elephants turned aggressive.
When caught on cell phone video, a bull elephant hooks its tusks onto their vehicle.
In one account, Juliana was thrown from her seat before anyone could react. The elephant charged and trampled her, leaving her with fatal injuries. Help arrived quickly, but there was nothing they could do. Another version of the events later came out. The Livingstone Tourism Association claimed that some tourists, possibly including Juliana, had gotten out of the vehicle, which was against park rules. They also said there had never been a case of an elephant pulling someone from a vehicle in either Africa or Asia. Even though elephants are usually calm, they can become dangerous when they feel stressed, threatened, or confused, especially in areas where they often run into humans. Police confirmed Juliana's death soon after. It was the second deadly elephant attack in Zambia that year, raising new fears about the rising clashes between people and wildlife. Back home, Juliana's death was devastating for her family and friends. Her children struggled to cope, knowing her faith had led her to that fateful trip. She was remembered for her strong faith, kindness, and lifelong dedication to helping others. Her body was later brought back to the United States, so her loved ones could say their final goodbyes. What would you have done if you were caught in that moment, face to face with a wild elephant? On June 5, 2024, Lisa Manders lost her life during what was supposed to be a dream safari trip in Zambia. Lisa and her husband, Craig, had traveled from Cranford, New Jersey to celebrate a milestone anniversary. It was their first time visiting Africa. During their stay in Zambia's Lower Zambezi National Park, the couple joined a guided bushwalk, organized by a company called African Portfolio. The walk promised an up-close look at wildlife. Led by guides, the group followed animal tracks through the park until they reached a body of water. There, a large hippopotamus was resting, mostly submerged with only its eyes showing above the surface. Despite the known dangers of hippos, the group was allegedly encouraged to move closer for a better view. At some point, at least one of the guides, who carried a rifle, reportedly left the area, leaving Lisa and Craig alone near the water's edge. The attack happened in an instant. Lisa froze as the hippo's eyes locked onto her, its massive body surging from the water warning. It grabbed Lisa in its massive jaws, lifted her off the ground, and shook her violently. The force of the attack crushed her head and body, killing her almost immediately. Craig could only watch helplessly as the guides who were supposed to protect them were nowhere in sight. After Lisa's death, Craig filed a lawsuit against African Portfolio. He accused the company of negligence and reckless behavior, claiming the guides had failed to keep the group safe. The lawsuit argued that African Portfolio didn't properly screen the guides or enforce safety measures, exposing Lisa to a deadly risk. African Portfolio denied the accusations. They pointed the blame at the safari lodge that had supplied the guides and said all safety rules had been followed. However, Craig's legal team insisted that the guides had encouraged the group to move dangerously close to the hippo and had abandoned their duty at a critical moment. Lisa's death brought fresh attention to the hidden dangers of African safaris. Hippos, despite their quiet appearance, are highly territorial and unpredictable. They can weigh up to 7,000 pounds, run faster than a human on land, and their powerful jaws can snap bones in seconds. Would you ever feel safe getting out of a vehicle near a wild animal? Tell us what you think. Did this hippo attack shock you? Smash that like button. And if you're looking at these real-life safari stories as eye-opening, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. we have more unbelievable stories coming your way. In December 2018, a peaceful day at the Madikwe Game Reserve in South Africa turned into a nightmare. A massive bull elephant, overcome with uncontrollable rage, broke through a fence and stormed into the tourist area at Leopard Rock Lodge. Mark Lautenbach, one of South Africa's most respected guides and wildlife photographers, stepped forward to calm the situation. Mark had spent decades studying elephants, but he couldn't predict the rage of this bull in must. He had years of experience in the wild and knew the risks better than most. But even the best ranger can be powerless when nature turns violent. The elephant, weighing around 6 tons, was in must, where male elephants experience a huge surge of testosterone, making them extremely aggressive. Witnesses said the elephant locked eyes on Mark and charged without hesitation. Before anyone could react, he was struck and trampled. He suffered fatal injuries within seconds. Must turns bull elephants into unstoppable forces. Their testosterone levels can spike up to 6 times higher than usual. Even other elephants stay out of their way during this time because they are unpredictable and dangerously violent. A local expert said that Mark truly understood the wild, but against a bull elephant in full rage, there was nothing anyone could have done. After the attack, rangers decided to put the elephant down. They feared it would attack again and cause more loss of life. Have you ever wondered how you would react if you were facing a wild animal charging at you? Did Mark's story make your heart race? Let us know in the comments. If you thought that was terrifying, wait until you hear how a peaceful bushwalk ended in one of the deadliest ways possible. On May 2nd, 2018, award-winning cinematographer Carlos Carvalho was filming at Glen Africa Country Lodge in South Africa when tragedy struck. The 47-year-old had spent decades capturing wildlife on camera, working on documentaries and films across the world. That day, Carlos was serving as a second-unit camera operator for a feature film. The main shoot had gone smoothly, and animal handlers had already moved a giraffe named Gerald away from the set. But Carlos decided to stay behind to get some extra close-up footage of the animal. Gerald was a towering bull giraffe, standing almost 18 feet tall. Giraffes are generally seen as peaceful animals, but males can be dangerous when they engage in necking, a behavior where they swing their heavy heads to fight and establish dominance. Their skulls, reinforced by horn-like bones called ossicones, can deliver devastating blows. As Carlos positioned himself for the shot, he noticed Gerald's posture shift, his legs spreading slightly, a warning sign he missed until it was too late. In an instant, the giraffe swung its head with tremendous force, striking Carlos directly. The impact sent him flying through the air and crashing to the ground. Crew members nearby could only watch in horror. The blow had left Carlos unconscious, with blood coming from his eyes and ears, and there were clear signs of severe head trauma. Paramedics on set rushed to help and quickly airlifted him to Mill Park Hospital in Johannesburg. Doctors tried to stabilize him, but the injuries were too severe. Carlos died later that night at 8:50 p.m. The news of his death shocked the film community. Friends, colleagues, and fans mourned the loss of a man known for his talent and kindness. Many remembered him as someone who had a true passion for storytelling and adventure. Glen Africa Country Lodge expressed deep sorrow over the accident, but defended Gerald, saying the giraffe had acted naturally and would not be put down. An independent investigation followed, looking into the circumstances surrounding the attack. Some reports suggested Carlos had gotten too close to the giraffe, possibly ignoring standard safety procedures. Would you ever dare to get that close to a wild animal just for the perfect shot? Let us know below. Also, tag a friend who'd freak out hearing this giraffe attack story. Coming up next, a drive-through safari experience that turned into a living nightmare, and it was all caught on camera. In July 2016, a family's visit to Bottling Wildlife Park in Beijing turned into a devastating tragedy. The park is known for its drive-through safari experience, where visitors can see Siberian tigers up close, all from the supposed safety of their vehicles. Drive-through safaris, like traditional ones, promise adventure, but they come with the same deadly risks. That afternoon, a woman named Xiao was riding through the tiger enclosure with her family when an argument broke out inside their car. Frustrated, Xiao made a fatal mistake. Without thinking, she opened the car door and stepped outside, unaware of the danger just beyond the trees. Within seconds, a massive Siberian tiger burst from the shadows. The 400-pound predator lunged at Xiao, grabbing her in its powerful jaws and dragging her away from the road. Screams filled the air as her family members panicked inside the car. In a desperate attempt to save her daughter, Xiao's mother jumped out of the vehicle and ran toward the tiger. But before she could reach Xiao, a second tiger attacked. This tiger was even faster and more brutal, knocking her to the ground with crushing force. Unfortunately, her mother would not survive. Xiao survived, but the scars, both physical and emotional, haunt her. She still hears her mother's screams in her nightmares. The horrifying attack was captured by surveillance cameras in the park. The footage later leaked online, showing how quickly the situation turned deadly. Viewers around the world watched in shock as the tigers dragged their victims out of sight into the dense underbrush. By the time park officials and emergency responders arrived, it was too late. Xiao survived but suffered serious injuries. Her mother died from her wounds at the scene, her brave rescue attempt ending in tragedy. After the incident, many questioned how such a disaster could happen. Park rules clearly stated that visitors must stay inside their vehicles at all times, with windows up and doors locked. However, Xiao later claimed she hadn't realized what she agreed to when signing the park's entry documents. She said she believed the form was just a standard registration, not a direct warning about the life-threatening risks. Xiao also accused the park staff of failing to act quickly. She alleged that a nearby park official stationed inside a patrol car did not intervene or help during the attack. The accusation sparked outrage across China and reignited debate over the safety practices at drive-through wildlife parks. These incidents highlight the growing tension between humans and wildlife as tourism encroaches on their habitats. What can be done to prevent future tragedies? Drop your thoughts in the comments. These 5 tragedies remind us that the wild is as dangerous as it is beautiful. No amount of preparation can guarantee your safety when nature strikes. If these stories shocked you, hit that like button and subscribe for more wildlife tales. Which safari tragedy shocked you the most? Tell us in the comments.